Hello,
Hello.
and welcome back to Wild
Well,
Wiles Sports.
yes, with merch.
Now with merch.
Great. We got these for Christmas and they aren't
They're
available.
not for sale
They're
yet,
not
but
for sale, but
stay
just wait,
tuned.
maybe.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Okay, we haven't podcasted in a while. It's been a minute, so I'll catch you up on how I was doing. They're ranked number 14 in the country, first, well, tied for first in the Big Ten because they're undefeated in the Big Ten. What is it, 3-0 now?
3-0 now after
And
today.
13-2. The two losses coming to Iowa State and UConn, both really highly ranked teams, both really good teams. Obviously, one of them being the best team in the country. So I'm okay with those losses. I really would have liked to have the one at Iowa State because that one was winnable, I feel. UConn game not winnable, but I felt like it could have been closer than it was. Didn't play our best. Ava Hayden didn't play her best, but I can live with those losses, especially because today Iowa and Nebraska faced off, and Iowa took the dub.
Iowa did take the dub. That was a really exciting game. It was close for 3.5 quarters until finally Iowa broke it open at the end. But that was very exciting all the way top to bottom.
Hmm.
And you really couldn't ask for a better game on New Year's Day.
Hmm.
2026 is off to a great start in women's
Yeah,
basketball.
this is true. Yeah, I think what the big driving force keeping Nebraska in the game for so long was definitely Britt Prince.
Holy cow!
Holy cow,
Holy cow!
especially in the
Holy
first half.
hair!
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't know, Britt Prince plays with her hair down. She always has she's a Nebraska kid, so I grew up seeing her play at club and stuff and never seen her with her hair up.
No.
Always down. And for what I heard was that it was just like a superstition. Like one time she played with her hair down, she played really good, so she never played with her hair up and obviously works for her because she had 27 points today. 10 for 18 from the field, and she had four steals on top of that.
And really, the first half is where I thought she shined the most. I think Iowa made some adjustments at halftime and played much crisper defense in the second half and got into the gaps, the rotations. I mean, they really are building that chemistry. I feel like we say this a lot about Iowa, but chemistry is everything, and
Yeah.
they are learning each other both offensively and defensively. And they tightened up that defense in the second half significantly, and that made it tougher for Britt Prince.
Yeah, it definitely did. And then on the Iowa side, Chit Chat Right getting it done. She was all over, had 24 points today.
Yeah, the portal was good to Iowa.
Yes,
I don't
transferred.
know that they're not where they're at today without Chit Chat Right.
No.
She has been a key contributor and is the glue for the team right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just so shocked. I was so shocked to hear that she's what, 5'4".
By four.
She doesn't play like it. She's got a big presence in there.
She does.
Yeah.
The commentator kept saying diminutive, that she was diminutive, and I'm like, I don't think that's probably how she would like to describe herself. But it didn't look great at the beginning. I was a little concerned that Iowa got behind 10-2
Yeah.
right off the bat, and I thought this was going to be a little bit like last year. Iowa lost to Nebraska
At home.
at home
Yeah.
last year. But that was not the case, and it obviously turned out pretty well for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, what I thought was interesting that they were talking about this 80-point benchmark. So Nebraska had a really great start to the season. They started 12-0 until they lost to USC. And in every game that they won, they scored at least 80 points. When they lost to USC, they didn't. And today they only scored, what was it, 76?
Yep.
They didn't hit the 80-point benchmark. And then Iowa has only let a team score 80 once, and it was
Mhm.
UConn. So I thought that was a really interesting way to look at it, a good benchmark to see who was going to win. And yeah, obviously
Yeah,
today was Iowa.
that was exciting.
It was
I'm looking
exciting.
forward to the February rematch,
Hmm.
and all kinds of great basketball coming up here over the next few weeks, as
Yeah,
we move into conference play. It's a
yeah.
great time.
I think that Iowa's got a good set of schedule ahead of them. Obviously, the Big Ten is very, very talented, but they get a chance to play the unranked teams in the Big Ten first until they got to play, and then they got to play the ranked team. So it gives them a good chance to get into a good flow.
Mhm.
I
I don't know how many ranked teams we have in the Big Ten. It's a significant number. I mean,
it's the second best conference in women's basketball.
right. Iron sharpens iron.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the college game.
Mhm.
Maybe we should shift over to, I know you're probably sick of hearing about the CBA. I'm sick of hearing about it. I want it to be signed and done, and I want to know we're going to have a season, a
That's not
2026
I,
season.
I don't know that we're going to get there. I'm not ready to predict that there will be a strike, but I'm not going to be shocked if there is. That's as far out on a limb as I'll go. So let's help folks understand what's happening with the WNBA negotiations.
Yeah, so CBA collective bargaining agreement was supposed to be signed in like October and keeps getting pushed back. The deadline, they keep agreeing to an extension. And I think there's a couple different things that they're not agreeing on, but the big holdup is definitely the revenue sharing model.
Yes. And so our understanding is that the players want to get to a place where they can share 30% of gross revenue. And the league is saying 50% of net revenue. So what does that actually mean? There's a lot of factors at play here, but I think the biggest sticking point might not be gross versus net. It might be right now about uh, do media accounts, do those expansion fees, are those going to be shared with the players? And right now, the WNBA's position is no, they are not. And so when you have all these expansion teams coming in at 250 million apiece, and none of that is going to be shared with the players, that's a slap in the face. I mean, parity matters. And this would be, it's almost like there's a symbolic nature to what needs to happen here because these players have been underpaid for so long, that even if there isn't an example in another league of sharing those expansion fees, that doesn't matter. Maybe do it as a one-time distribution or do something that lets the players know that you are the reason that we can have all these expansion teams. You are the reason that we have a $12 billion media deal for the next 10 years. Those things matter, and I feel that it's criminal to cripple the league in this way at this moment when everything is growing. This can be catastrophic, but at the same time, it could be something that gets more public attention and puts more pressure on these owners. I don't know. What do you think?
I think a strike or not having a 2026 season would be the worst thing possible for this league. There's so much growth right now, and if you take a whole season where you don't play, um, you know, are all of the fans going to come back? Probably not. Probably not everybody. And it's just there's been so much exponential growth in the last couple of years. That doesn't mean I don't think the players shouldn't strike. I think, if they're not getting paid fairly, they shouldn't play. And that's what they voted. They voted that the players union voted that they should be able to strike if it comes to that. I think it was 97% of players voted and 98% of players voted yes to striking. So definitely on the horizon. I think not giving them any part of the expansion fees is a little ridiculous because most players, if you ask them, will say instead of an expansion team, they'd rather have more spots on a single roster. But obviously there's expenses for that too. But then the league decides we're going to do expansion teams instead. We're going to do expansion teams instead because that is going to bring us in more money. Well, then this is a trade-off for the players. Players are not getting what they want. And so I don't see why they shouldn't get some of that money.
For sure. And I think another sticking point, and I don't know how large an issue this is in terms of dollars and cents, but the league has traditionally taken care of things like housing and charter flights are now the norm. They want to take those things out of the agreement. And so it depends on the market, but throw in housing in New York or throw in housing in any major metropolitan area and tell somebody that, okay, well, now you're in here for 4 or 5 months, you have to find a place to live. That significantly is going to eat into both salary and stability. So how
Yeah.
do you have a family and how do you manage your life when you can get traded overnight and now you suddenly need to find a place to live.
Yeah.
The team housing is also another element that needs to be looked at. And I can't imagine that that would have the same impact as, the changing in the revenue sharing or whatever, but it's still something that's communicating worth to
Yes,
players.
exactly.
And right now we're not seeing that. And I just wonder how much longer we're going to drag this out, and how much longer are we going to put up with Kathy Engelbert? I don't think there's anybody that's less popular within the sports world right now as her. And so I would think that that could be part of the negotiations too. Like, let's get a new commissioner, one that is uh, pro player.
Mhm. Yeah, I think what's baffling to me is taking away the housing because we saw so many players, especially because they have such limited rosters. We saw so many players come in for like a 10-day contract or an emergency like expansion or not expansion, but like Ari McDonald came in for like half the season or whatever, like that kind of stuff. And so where are you supposed to live? Like what kind of lease are you supposed to get? Like you don't, or you get there for like training camp and you're trying to see if you're gonna make the roster and like you just stay in a hotel for like 3 months out of your own pocket. Like and it's not even I don't even think it's about the money. The money is an important part of it, but it is
It's
not
always
it's
about the money.
but it's no. I'm saying the reason why it's important to do it is it's not just about like saving the players money. It's about treating them as professional athletes.
Right.
Like
Yes.
the NFL does not just say you're on your own. The NBA
Right.
does not just say you're on your own.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I think we're a ways away from a signed CBA.
We probably are, and I hope we get to get on here and say we were totally wrong. They
Yeah.
they got together and January 9th came and everybody, had a big group hug and it's going to be beautiful. But
Mhm.
we'll have to wait and see. In other news,
More bad news from our other favorite professional women's basketball league.
that treats their players fairly and pays them well.
Yes, Unrivaled. It's kicking off Monday, January 5th. Very exciting, but unfortunately, Nafisa Collier will not be able to participate.
This just came out today. She's going to be getting surgery on both ankles. And so she's looking at 4 to 6 months of rehab before she's ready to play again. So that wipes out the whole unrivaled season. And, theoretically, assuming that we would be starting in May with the WNBA, it'd be touch and go if she'd be ready to play.
Yeah. I think it's very unfortunate. But I mean, luckily, if you are going to Unrivaled, you will not get to see Nafisa Collier play, but you will get to see every other great player in the league play, basically.
For sure.
So it's very exciting. Yeah, I think the WNBA could learn a lot from Unrivaled.
And I think that's part of the point of Unrivaled. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that about wraps us up. We'll be back soon, sooner than we were back last time, hopefully.
It's always finals and
Whatever.
yeah.
Keep tuning in.
Available.
Oh my gosh. We got college hoops, soon we'll have Unrivaled, so keep tuning in for women's basketball.
See you next time.